Hey, you're watching Ogre Gaming in Progress. Today I'm going to be talking about the setup I use for gaming. It's a laptop based, it's not desktop based. I'm a college student and I have a lot of places I go, so I can't really be hauling a desktop around for gaming. So that's basically the story why I chose to go with a laptop. It's still a pretty powerful laptop and probably one of the better ones on the market. And I'm going to tell you why here in a second. Alright, so the laptop I use is the ASUS N550JK. This laptop can be found in about the $900 price range on Newegg and $1,000 on exoticpc.com, which is where I purchased it from. Now, stock, this laptop comes with a NVIDIA 850M graphics card, an Intel i7 2.4 GHz 4-core processor, which can be turbo boosted up to 3.4 GHz, which is not too bad for a laptop in this price range. It's actually a fairly powerful processor. A lot of laptops in this price range still only come with a i5 as opposed to an i7. Comes with 8 GB of memory stock and a 750 GB hard drive. However, this laptop is upgraded. It cost me about $1,500. And I have the monitor upgraded to show a more truer color palette. Shows anywhere between 95 to 98% of the color spectrum, while other laptop monitors will only show about 80% of it. It is a touchscreen display with a glossy finish, so if you're seeing any glare in the screen, that is why. But this laptop in particular has 16 GB of RAM, extra copper heat sinks added to the CPU, and a more efficient thermal paste added to the CPU and GPU. Outside of that, the hard drive has been upgraded. Instead of being a 750 GB hard drive at 5,400 RPM, it is a 1 TB hard drive sitting at 7,200 RPM. So it boots fairly fast, not as fast as a SSD, but my boot time is anywhere between 20 to 30 seconds, while on my old Alienware, my boot time could take anywhere between a minute and a half. I can max pretty much about any game that's been released within the past 2-3 years. The newer games that have just been released this year, and the games that are going to be released later in 2015, I probably will not be able to max those. However, I will be able to run them on decently high settings. I can run DayZ at decent high settings, which will be able to see later on in this video. As far as my peripherals go, I use the Logitech G430 headset. This is about $80 at Walmart. Has enhanced stereo for watching movies and listening to music, and also has a Dolby 7.1 surround sound option, which comes with a little USB driver. You have to have the cords plugged into the USB driver and plug that into your laptop or desktop, and that gives you the surround sound. So for $80, I think that was a pretty good investment, because most of your headsets in that price range, particularly talking about Razer and Turtle Beach, don't offer surround sound. They offer expanded stereo, whatever the hell that is, and stereo 2.0. Again, whatever the hell that is. So for a headset in that price range to offer a surround sound, not just 5.1 surround sound, 7.1 surround sound, I think that's a great offer. And I mean, the surround sound could be better. It's not going to be as good as your higher priced headsets, but for $80, you get a lot of bang for your buck. I feel with a lot of Logitech products, you actually get a lot of bang for your buck. For my mouse, I use a, well, now aging Logitech G500. Not a Logitech fanboy, I've just always, like I said, I found their products cheap and reliable. So, it's pretty much the bare bones of a gaming mouse right here. You can adjust your DPI on the fly, adjust how smoothly your scroll wheel functions, and you have a few bindable keys on the side of it. I don't really use them. If I played more MMOs, I probably would, but the only time I've ever used a bindable key on my mouse here was playing DayZ. And that's generally just makes sprinting a lot easier instead of having to hold down the number button or mash W twice in order to get your character to sprint. And also I'll like bind, toggling between third and first person view. So that mouse new cost me about $40. So again, bare bones of a gaming mouse, but it has all the functions it needs. And spot on tracking. I've never had an issue with the mouse whatsoever. Now, for my mouse pad, this is going to be a little ancient because it's a Dell XPS mouse pad. Now, for those who aren't familiar with XPS, it's a brand that Dell used to have as their gaming line before Dell bought out Alienware. Got this with our desktop about 8 years ago. And since then we replaced the mouse pad used for this for the desktop, but this is hard mouse pad. Functions completely well, and it's a little faded from use, but I like to use it because I game on the go because I'm in college and I hang out with my friends a lot. I'm not completely antisocial, so a lot of times I'll be gaming in a spot where I might not have the best of the surface to do it on. Might be sitting on a couch. Might be on just chilling on someone's floor. So having a portable hard surface is definitely a must. Because it'll work in the most awkward of situations and still provide a reliable stable area for me to game on. As you can see, real steel plate carrier in the background. It's just there for looks. Whatever, I like it. And play airsoft as well. So now we're going to get into benchmarking with DayZ. Now, I can run DayZ at fairly high settings, at least on the settings that matter, and often around 60 frames per second out in the countryside on the game and 40 frames per second in the city. Now, for a laptop in this price range, and it would still be able to do this if it wasn't upgraded. My upgrades aren't really performance upgrades or reliability upgrades, so it'd still be able to do this, completely stock. So for a laptop within the $5,000 or $1,000 price range, that can run a game like DayZ that well. That's fairly impressive, considering my, considering Alienware, their M14 laptops are sitting in the $1,300 price range, and they don't come with nearly as impressive hardware. I got a chance to look at the newer models at Walmart, and they only came with an i5 processor and a 750 or 760 graphics card, which the 850M clearly outpaces. So as you can see, I'm at the DayZ title screen. Right now it's recording at about 45 FPS because that's the max setting I have for fraps to allow while recording. But when sitting in the title screen or playing outside the city, it sits roughly at 60 FPS, and if I go into a city, it'll drop down to about 45. So, I'm sitting at about 45 constant right now. So, go over my settings real quick. So I'm sitting at the 100% resolution that it has. As far as quality, my terrain is high, my objects are normal. My clouds I keep very low because they don't really make much of a difference, and neither do the shadows. However, I can turn those up without really affecting gameplay. Now, the textures is what matters the most. I have my video memory cranked up as far as it'll allow. Got my textures set to high, my texture filtering set to high. And again, like I said, a few of the things I have, I got terrain and objects on normal and high respectively. Those are the things that is going to affect gameplay the most. And anti-analyzing and alpha coverage got really disabled. The edge smoothing I got very high. So, and altogether it comes out really clean and crisp when I'm playing. So these settings work for me. I could crank them up. I could crank them up to their max probably, and still be able to play the game at 30 frames per second constant. But for recording purposes, I like keeping them lower. And for future reference, when I eventually start putting up DayZ videos, no, I do not play as a bandit. Anyway, so this is Gaming in Progress. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you do, let me know in the comments below. There's anything you guys want to know as far as this laptop goes, or anything about ASUS or Exotic PC, leave that question in the comments. I'll get to you about that as soon as possible. Both of those companies are great. Exotic PC is a great retailer, and ASUS is a great manufacturer who manufactures a lot of different laptops, not just gaming PCs. So, but definitely for the college student, this laptop is definitely the most bang for your buck.